Avoiding the Void, the Bingewatchers Guide to the Small Screen. My name's Rosie. This week we're going to be chatting all things Golden Globes nominations.
And I'm Nell, but first, the headlines. Christopher Plummer died this week at the age of 91. Twitter said it best when they said he was smoking hot from beginning to end, and we can't ask for much more than that. To celebrate his life and his most popular work, we'd recommend Beginners, for which he won his Oscar, and of course The Sound of Music to see him play anti-fash King Captain Von Trapp.
And Hanthorpe Parish Council's meeting went viral this week as it descended into a virtual Zoom anarchy, with Jackie Weaver, with or without authority, booting out the chairman of the meeting.
You have no authority here, Jackie Weaver. No authority at all.
She's just kicked him out.
Long may she reign. If you want more like this, just watch literally anything by Armando Iannucci, who has spent his entire career trying to parody the ridiculousness of small and big governments. We especially recommend The Thick of It.
Bob Mortimer and his bonkers life made a massive comeback to BBC's Would I Lie to You? No jokes here, we just really needed you all to know that Bob Mortimer was back on Would I Lie to You? And that's the headlines.
That's all you need.
That's right.
We're coming back to a thing we did in the first week this week. We're talking about some stuff that's coming out on streaming sites new this week.
Mm-hmm. A lot of stuff on Netflix in this past week. In terms of new stuff on Netflix, first season of Firefly Lane is out. Kind of looks like your regular trash sort of TV show. It's about two friends in their 40s whose lives have gone very different routes, but they're still really close friends. I'm intrigued by it.
Elliot from Scrubs.
Yes, that's her name.
I should know the actor's name, but no, I saw the trailer of that and that looks really interesting.
Tell you why I'm intrigued by it. It's because it's an 18.
Oh,
and I was like, what's made it an 18?
I bet it's sex.
I mean, it probably is, but to me, watching the trailer, I was like, max a 12.
I thought it was going to be very wholesome friendship. It looks nice. It looks interesting.
Intriguing.
Film-wise, The Dig with Ralph Fiennes and Carey Mulligan, which has got lots of buzz, and Malcolm and Marie with Zendaya and John David Washington. And those have both got lots of kind of best actory buzz around them as well. Look like very different films, but they're both on Netflix as well.
In terms of stuff that isn't English speaking, the film on Netflix that's come out this week that I really want to watch is called Little Big Women. It's a Taiwanese film. The description is a family struggles to come to terms with their estranged father's passing and the life that he had away from them. Looks very emotional, very dramatic, very personal. The trailer looked great, so I can't wait to see that. That's definitely on my list of things to watch.
Other than that, I am out of the duo. I am the Marvel fan of this. Every duo has to have a Marvel fan. I'm the Marvel fan of Avoiding the Void, and I've been watching WandaVision every week. If you haven't started watching that, I say roundabout now is a really good time to start, because we're episode 5 in and finally we're getting some kind of plot development. I would say that the first 4 episodes, 3.5 episodes, was just a lot of very pretty, very like kind of well-made exposition. And we're finally now getting into the meat of the story. It's very new, it's very interesting. If you're not a Marvel fan as well, I recommend it, because it's nothing like Marvel's ever done before. Intentionally, they made it like that. So
then maybe I'll watch it.
Maybe you'll try it, hey now. But yeah, that's pretty much everything that's new. But we'd be remiss, being a TV podcast, to not talk about the Golden Globes and the nominations that came out last week. Some interesting choices there.
They definitely happened.
They happened. There's been some backlash. Um,
A touch.
just a tad.
As always. I mean, it'd be weird if there wasn't backlash,
Yeah.
right? The Golden Globes, we know that they have taste.
Yeah, the Hollywood foreign press do be trying to rile people up this year though, especially. Yeah, the main criticism being, and we're gonna do this episode, we're gonna dedicate to all the TV noms, what we liked. We've watched a lot of it, what we liked, what we recommend, and then next week we're gonna focus on the films, and then after that we might do a snubbed episode, and probably that episode is mainly going to be dedicated to Michaela Cole's I May Destroy You, which has the main cause of the backlash against the Golden Globe nominations, because the show and Michaela Cole got sod all in the nominations, and people, or every single review of the show, said it was some of the best TV they've ever seen.
Yeah, I was deeply surprised. I mean, not surprised in the sense that am I surprised that a Black woman who's made and starred in this entire show and has come out on top of all recommendation lists for the last year got snubbed. Am I surprised? No. But
disappointed? Always.
Yes.
But first, the Best Picture noms. Not the Best Picture, the Best TV show noms. So we'll start with musical and comedy, because the Golden Globes, if you don't know, they do a very lengthy process of dividing all their films and TV into musical or comedy and or drama. So there's 4 categories when usually there's 2.
From this list, we have Schitt's Creek, The Great, Emily in Paris, Ted Lasso, and The Flight Attendant. I mean, for me,
who's going to win?
Schitt's Creek.
Yeah,
it has to be, right?
Yeah, it has to be out of that list. Having said that, The Great, I can see that doing well as well.
Yeah.
Nicholas Hoult and Elle Fanning play. Elle Fanning plays Catherine the Great and her marriage in its early days, and it's a very funny kind of weird history comedy.
Yeah, I've also heard really good things. Ted Lasso seems like a smaller show, and it's on Apple TV, which is why I haven't seen it, because I don't have Apple TV.
Neither do I.
There's doesn't seem to be enough on that streaming service for me to warrant paying for it as of yet. But the people I know that have watched it really like it and say it's really wholesome and nice.
If someone wants to, anyone on the podcast who wants to pay for our Apple TV subscription, then we can give a proper review.
Yeah. And then The Flight Attendant, as far as I'm aware, is not available in the UK. So that's not something that anyone from the UK
can watch.
Yeah, it's not relevant to us because we can't watch it.
And Emily in Paris.
Emily en Paris.
Emily en Paris. Interestingly, I don't know whether everyone's seen this, but the author of Emily in Paris wrote an article for The Guardian after the nominations got released, saying how she was surprised that Emily in Paris got nominated, and she thought Michaela Cole's I May Destroy You should have been nominated. So if your own writers are turning around and saying, what the hell, Golden Globes?
There is that joke one that's spreading across Twitter as well about that girl that's pretending to be a writer on Emily in Paris.
Yes. I've seen her.
Which has been great Twitter content for the week.
Yeah. Basically everyone just being like, it's so bad. Why have you done this?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't even bother watching it, and I'm a trash connoisseur. We both are.
It just looked so weird. I just didn't get I didn't just white girl walks around Paris.
It was like the level of bad where it's like you can't even enjoy it. It's that bad. Is the sense that I got from that show. You're too annoyed by how bad it is to enjoy it.
It's not booky enough. Schitt's Creek and The Great. Schitt's Creek for you. I'm gonna go with The Great for this one. We've also got the other category being Best Television Series Drama. For this one, we've got The Crown, Ozark, Ratched, Lovecraft Country, and The Mandalorian. The Crown. I watched season 4 of The Crown because I love The Crown so much. It is definitely a guilty pleasure, The Crown, because it can be so slow.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, the royal family really didn't get up to much for most of their lives. But the fun thing about this last season is that it's the 80s. So we've got Thatcher and Diana.
Yeah.
They're fun.
You hit the spicy years.
Gillian Anderson playing Thatcher was great. A bit over the top. Not the most nuanced performance, but she was very much playing Thatcher. and Emma Corrin played an unbelievable Diana, like a bizarrely good kind of impression of Diana. And you really, from this season, if I've heard a lot of criticisms from people who don't love the monarchy about the crown and how it kind of romanticizes them and makes their problems seem anything more than just kind of intensely privileged people having minor problems. But this season, you really don't like the royals coming out of it. They really didn't hold back on any punches about how much you need to hate Prince Charles.
Yeah, but to be fair, like, I didn't like them in previous seasons either. I was like, I always did think about the people who criticized it in that way. I'm like, have you actually watched the show? Because it's really not flattering. And a lot of the people who do like the monarchy don't like the show.
Yeah.
As well.
That was the main criticism. So many people wrote in. There was that whole campaign for it to be put. Did you see some posh monarchy people said there should be a disclaimer at the beginning of The Crown to say that this is not this is fictional, because it was such anti-monarchy, and everyone was like,
but it's done really well. It's the most nominated TV show at the Golden Globes this year, with granted most of obviously the noms coming from all the actors.
It is great. It is great acting. Some standouts, definitely Josh O'Connor, who plays
love him.
Charles. He's amazing. Emma Corrin, I don't know whether she's nominated, but she was amazing as Diana.
She is nominated.
Yeah. Olivia Colman, I'm gonna say it, she ain't no Claire Foy. She doesn't do it for me as our Liz. She really doesn't. So
that's a national treasure you're talking about.
I said it. She's great, but she just doesn't scream Liz to me. And then Tobias Menzies plays Prince Philip, and I love
he's a
his
brilliant actor.
Yeah.
And he's like the sort of Prince Philip that he doesn't mind playing him to be unlikable.
They did it.
Yeah, like I feel like Matt Smith kind of edged on I'll make him kind of like tried to make him a bit more likable than I think he is in.
Yeah, I really liked Tobias Menzies plays the villain on Outlander as well. And if you've seen Outlander, you know how good an actor he is, because I can't look at Tobias Menzies without a genuine sense of pure loathing from watching him play an evil rapist on Outlander. And if that's not acting, I don't know.
Yeah.
if you don't look at the actor and see the character and fucking hate them.
Yeah. I'm with you.
But I wouldn't be surprised if that won.
Yeah, I do think
it's a safe choice.
I mean, from what it's up against, I mean, I can't comment on Ozark because that is not one that I've watched. I
haven't watched the most recent season of Ozark, but I watched the first 2 seasons. It's good if you like kind of very intense, slightly dark, crimey dramas. It's good. If you don't, then I wouldn't bother. It doesn't bring anything. It might just be me being harsh, but it doesn't bring anything spectacular to the genre. I think it's just like, I think the power of it is that it's really well acted, and you really like the characters. I don't think the plot itself is too wild. But yeah, it's basically about this guy who launders a bunch of money and has to go and make it up by setting up a businesses on the Ozarks, which is lakes which is a big set of lakes in Michigan. Question mark.
I've heard a lot of good things about Lovecraft County, but as far as I'm aware, that's not really something that's available in the UK either. I think it's on Sky Atlantic, but it's not somewhere I can find at the minute.
Yeah.
So it's not, it's kind of a limited UK audience, I'd imagine. Even though
like
I have heard good things about it.
black-led horror stories, isn't it? Because of
The Mandalorian is okay.
It's fine. We're both big Star Wars fans, so yeah, it's fine. It's cute.
Yeah, I like it.
I like
Would
it.
I say it's Golden Globe nominable? No.
Yeah, no. It's
Give Baby Yoda one, sure.
Disney, for some reason, they're just so... They make it look so pretty, and they spend so much money creating these worlds and, you know, creating the set and the exposition and the story and making it look good. But then when it actually comes down to the plot, it was just so slow. Like, I just got so, like, another episode, Mandalorian encounters a problem, goes, fixes the problem, comes back, Baby Yoda's cute. And that was the majority of the season. And, like, I eat it up. But, you know, if you're not a Star Wars fan, it's just a bit slow.
And then right at the bottom of the pile is Ratched, who, like, name a single person that you know that enjoyed that show.
I don't know a single person who watched it. Like, I watched like just before this, because I was curious. I watched the trailer and I watched like the first 10 minutes of the first episode, and I know exactly who it's aimed at. It's aimed at Sarah Paulson fanatic American Horror Story fans. That is its audience. They thought American Horror Story's done really well. Let's just do another one.
Yeah,
but slightly different.
Let's take an iconic villain and give her the American Horror Story. Yeah, and in One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, she's a very subtle evil of like representing like the kind of bureaucratic follow the rules sort of evil
humanity.
Of this like psych ward, and from the outside is like very like put together and outwardly nice and polite, but it kind of hides this sort of, she thrives on the power that she has in a sinister, and it's so sinister, and especially how she's played in the movie, it's so like subtly sinister and realistic. And I thought, well, she doesn't need the Ryan Murphy makeover.
Oh, no.
To make her like overtly evil and like give her this like evil origin story, and it's all because she's like a normal person. She's like a normal person. That's what's so evil about it. Is like you know a Ratched.
Yeah, that I think that's the thing. They turn her, they've mythologicized her and turned her into some kind of like witch-like character.
See, I was like, first of all, I don't want to watch this because the whole concept is crap to me. And then on top of that, the reviews that I did see and the people I know who did watch it was like, it is exactly what you thought it was, and it did not pull it off.
American Horror Story, but
you just have to wonder like who's getting the kind of bribe under the table for Ryan Murphy shows to make it to the Golden Globes again.
And it's just Sarah Paulson as well. Like, she's fantastic. And I think it's just it's another safe, easy. This is the main vibe of the Golden Globes. They just went for the easy ones.
Easy stuff. Yeah. Oh, that's a famous person playing a part that should be good.
It's a Disney Plus Star Wars show. Give it a nom. Like,
it's the only Disney Plus show that, like, because it's one of the few, until like now when WandaVision's been coming out, Disney Plus hasn't been putting out really anything new.
No.
So they're like, oh, we better give something to Disney.
Yeah.
I imagine that's probably going to The Crown.
I would be surprised if it didn't. Unless Lovecraft Country, which neither of us can see, really pulls out. But because
I'd be happy for them if they did.
Yeah, I've heard really good things about it. But no, I reckon it's The Crown or the Mandalorian, but it shouldn't be the bloody Mandalorian.
And then the last one for the TV shows, which I think is kind of our category.
This is where we're gonna have a good recommendation. So this is the only category with any kind of, I think, really, really good telly.
Yeah. best limited TV show or movie made for television. I feel like a pretty across the board, everything in this category is good.
Yeah. Every single one is good. So we've got The Undoing, which was that one on Sky with Nicole Kidman and Hugh Grant. Then we've got Normal People. If you haven't seen Normal People, where have you been? The Irish drama love story with Paul Mescal and Daisy Edgar Wright. Then you got Small
Jones.
Then you've got Small Axe, which was on BBC iPlayer, about stories about Black history, directed by, I think lots of them were directed by Stephen Queen.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. Then you've got The Queen's Gambit, of course, on Netflix. Anya Taylor-Joy plays chess prodigy. And then you've got Unorthodox, which is also on Netflix, which was a kind of American-German Israeli endeavor about a young woman who flees the Orthodox Jewish community in Williamsburg, New York, and starts a new life. All great.
Yeah.
All really great. Like, I
don't think anyone has any problems with any of these shows being nominated for a Golden Globe. But like, yeah, I did look at this category and be like, it's been a good year for limited TV show.
Really good. And I made a story, would it have been in this? It would
exactly
in this category as well. And if we're going to give any leeway to them, maybe that's why it wasn't nominated. But
yeah. And if there's like one
generous.
that I'd like, if there's one that I'd kick out, and it might be just because I haven't seen it and I don't think it's currently available anywhere that I can find, is The Undoing. I do get a sense of that being like, it's Nicole Kidman and Hugh Grant, but I have heard loads of people say, like, raving about it.
It's a politically drama. I watched a bits and pieces of it because my flatmate was watching it on Sky, but yeah, it's, you know, if it's your thing, it's your thing. But I don't think anyone said it was bad.
Yeah.
I can't decide out this list. I think I'm gonna have to go for, just because I watched it back to back twice and it made me so happy and it really, really touched me emotionally. I thought Unorthodox was incredible this year. Like, really
100% agree.
I don't think it is gonna win. Because they're too scared. I thought it was like amazing. I thought it was just such a beautiful story of this woman, you know, expressing her right to freedom and expressing her right to a life without the bounds of her religion. And it really handled it really well without making too much the religion seem like the enemy. It was more about her own struggle. And Shira Haas, who played the lead character, she did
unbelievable
bits.
Yeah,
I hope she wins the actress category.
Absolutely same. I mean, for me, Unorthodox was my pick. As soon as I watched it, I was like, this is one of the best TV shows of the year, and if it's not in award season, there's a crime. Like,
so that's one good thing. Like, and I feel like you don't see many Jewish stories about women very much at all. It's a lot.
You don't see many Jewish stories.
Yeah,
especially like a lot of this show is like in Yiddish.
Oh yeah, half of it's not in English, which is another. And you get such insight, and they paid such due to the Orthodox culture and the costumes, the sets, and it really just beautiful. But yeah, so interesting and just so good.
Yeah, I can't rave enough about Unorthodox. I
texted
like
everyone.
Every category it would be in, I would be gunning for it to win. I want it to win. Do I think it's going to win?
No,
not entirely sure.
What I do probably think it's going to win is either, I think it's probably going to maybe be Normal People or The Queen's Gambit.
I did really enjoy The Queen's Gambit as well.
I love the Queen Banners. You know me, and I know you. We love a historical biopic kind of film. But I also thought Anya Taylor-Joy was amazing
She's
in that.
really good.
She's really
She's
really
like
great.
one of those actresses that's like good in basically everything she does, and you're like, God, she's good.
Yeah.
Like
And-
everything you watch her in, you'll enjoy what she does in it.
And another thing that just opened up a world to me, like the world of competitive chess. I just didn't think, because I told my when it first came out, I got so much shtick because I told my flatmates, "Oh, I'm watching a drama about chess," and they'd look at me like, "Really, a chess? Are you serious?" And I was crying at the last episode, and they were like, "You're crying about chess," and I was like, "Yes, I'm crying about chess."
I'm not I was like, I can't believe the chess show made me cry. This much.
The ginger chess show made me cry.
Yeah,
but it was just great. And if you like kind of 60s aesthetic and vibe as well, it was just so good there. And then Normal People, another beautiful piece of television.
Yeah. Again, I really enjoyed that. Generally, I felt less attached to it than I do like Unorthodox and even like The Queen's Gambit. But I still really enjoyed it, and I wouldn't hate on it if it won.
I think one of the best things Normal People did, and I think why it got so much raving reviews, is because you don't see many TV shows that show that level of kind of intimacy in romantic stories and that level of fragility. And you know, the sex scenes they're sexy, but they're not like sexualized. Does that make sense?
I understand what you're saying.
It's kind of, you know, it's kind of sex not in the male gaze, and it was about them. It wasn't about, look, let's show these actors having sex. It was like every single sex scene had a reason and a cause, and it was just about their lives, and it was just so well acted as well. And Paul Mescal, call me.
That's so, yeah. I had to pin someone that you'd fancy. That so tracks. Is it the chain?
Is it the chain, sweetie? Yes. There's the quietness, the gym gear. Oh, he's just so tortured. Having said that, I watched it again recently because my flatmate's a huge fan of it, because he's a little emo boy himself, and I watched it again, and the one thing it does frustrate me, and it just seems slightly unrelatable to me, and I don't know anyone like this, there might be people like this that exist, but just the sheer lack of communication was frustrating a second time round. But yeah,
you have to imagine that most normal people Zing would get too frustrated at one point and be like, right, we have to talk. I can't keep living my life like
we
this.
Clearly love each other, why not just be together, and then full stop. Like, it was very, in that vein, I felt it was unrealistic and very kind of teen dramatic, but that played to my Twilight heartstrings.
Yeah. Tasty, but sometimes annoying.
Sometimes frustrating. Another great TV show. Wouldn't be unhappy with that one.
Yeah, and then Small Axe,
which important.
An anthology series, BBC, all currently available on iPlayer. Surprised but not surprised. There's only one actor nom. And then also that it's John Boyega, who's, arguably
Hollywood's prince.
Yeah, the most famous one out of them all. Definitely, I'm glad he's got one, because he's one of the few people of colour that did.
Oh my goodness.
But yeah, I'm very happy it's in there, but I don't think it's going to win for the obvious reasons. It's just super important TV show, again, history, like UK history, UK Black history.
Normal People and The Queen's Gambit, I would say, are probably the two probable winners. Do I want it to be unorthodox? Yes, but
Yeah.
I
think it's going to be The Undoing, you know. And which is why I think I'm going to be disappointed, because out of
it's the only one I don't want to win.
I know, right? That's what I'm thinking. It's the only one that I'm like about, even though I know, like, I know it's good, quote unquote. But
if we think about who the Hollywood foreign press are tending towards with these nominations, the Undoing is very on brand for them. Whatever, but
strong category this year.
Strong category, but yeah, definitely go and watch Dawn Orthodox if you haven't seen it already, or any of the above. Really great. Best actor and actresses.
Yes,
we've already said we think Shira Haas for best actress.
She
was amazing.
Yeah, it fundamentally should be her. What she does in that series, and she's so small and unassuming, but the journey that she has, unbelievable.
It just like beautiful. We'll start with drama series. Best actress is Emma Corrin, Olivia Colman, both The Crown, Jodie Comer for Killing Eve, Laura Linney for Ozark, and Sarah Paulson for Ratched. I
think that's kind of an uninspiring list.
Yeah, nothing really stands out there, does it? Emma Corrin but Emma Corrin's performance, to be very harsh, at the end of the day, was basically just a really, really good Princess Diana impression. Like, and that's fine, but
that is the thing to say about like biopics when you're basing it on someone who is like you have a lot of footage for, rather than you're like inventing it.
Yeah.
It's kind of how good you are at impressions, isn't it, really?
Yeah. And then Laura Linney's won before for Ozark. She is really good in that show. But again, this is the umpteenth season of season 4 of Ozark.
And then Jodie Comer, Killing Eve has had wins in the past, but it's kind of died off this year.
The weirdest thing about Killing Eve is when, don't get me wrong, Sandra Oh's performances in it was great, but Sandra Oh won all the awards for the first season or two, when I thought the best performance on that whole TV show by a mile was Jodie Comer. And like, I didn't understand why Jodie Comer wasn't winning in season 1 when she was at her craziest as Villanelle. And then now she's getting
probably just going to be The Crown.
Yeah.
One way or the other.
Yeah.
Boring. Yeah, I think it's a very uninspired category this year.
And then actor, we've got Jason Bateman for Ozark, Josh O'Connor for The Crown, Bob Odenkirk for Better Call Saul. Again, old news. Al Pacino for Hunters, Matthew Rhys for Perry Mason.
Perry Mason's another one I know nothing about, that I don't believe is available in the UK, so I can't comment.
Love Matthew Rhys.
Love Matthew Rhys. Sure, he's great.
Yeah,
but cannot comment.
Bob Odenkirk as Saul in Breaking Bad was great, but again,
a bit of something.
Yeah, and then Hunters I avoided because
of the
criticisms.
Yeah. 100% same. When I saw the Auschwitz museum, criticizing it for the lack of accuracy.
Yeah, Hunters was that show that was about, in the 60s, a group of Jewish people banded together to hunt Nazis. Which great, cool, fun. Kill all the Nazis, Inglourious Basterds, all the shebang. But one of the main criticisms of it is that they start to totally make things up about the Holocaust, and with the level, and the criticism was with the level of rampant Holocaust deniers going on at the moment, people said that was very dangerous to do. So yeah, I didn't watch it.
And it's the only nom that show's got, and they've just kind of given it to Al Pacino. It just feels like, let's give Al Pacino a nomination.
We know, we've heard of him. It's like these people didn't watch TV and they just look through the list and like, oh yeah, I watched Breaking Bad. I'll give that to Not Better Call Saul. Yeah.
Look, it's Al Pacino.
Yeah. That's Prince Charles. I know who that is. I'll give it. Josh O'Connor was great as Prince Charles. So
I love Josh
if he
O'Connor,
wins,
so I'd be okay with it.
Good for me. Anyway, whatever to both of those categories.
Yeah, it is very white. To say, like, I feel
every single one of them is white.
which is it's astounding. To say that I feel like I've spent most of this last year just watching excellent TV and excellent performances in TV. You're looking at the two like main actor categories, and you're like,
baffles. Anyway, musical comedy. We've got Lily Collins, Kaylee Cuoco, Elle Fanning, Jane Levy, Catherine O'Hara.
Catherine O'Hara for me.
Yeah,
she deserves her Moira win. I'm a Schitt's Creek stan, obviously, but from that list, again, it's The Flight Attendant again, not available in the UK, so can't say.
Elle Fanning seemed fine in The Great.
Great. To me, yeah, Catherine O'Hara is the only one that's I'm really like.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised
genuinely
if she won
good.
That one.
Yeah, same.
And Best Actor, we've got Don Cheadle for Black Monday, which I didn't see. Nicholas Hoult in The Great, Eugene Levy in Schitt's Creek, Jason Sudeikis in Ted Lasso, and Ram Youssef in Rami. It's a titular role. Okay. Nicholas Hoult was really good in The Great. Like really good. So maybe he'll get that one. But
I think Black Monday's somewhere on Sky, but it's not a show that I'd even heard of. I'm like, how have I watched so much TV in the last year that I've got to the Golden Globes and I don't know anything?
Right? Like I've done nothing but watch all the new stuff that comes out. I don't.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And then, for me, Eugene Levy again. Then. So
there we go. Let's just
Schitt's Creek. Let's have Schitt's Creek supremacy.
Yeah. Best Actress in a Limited Series. Okay, so Mrs. America, which wasn't nominated for Best Series, but has Kate Blanchett in it. Kate Blanchett's nominated. Daisy Edgar-Jones for Normal People, Shira Haas in Orthodox, Nicole Kidman The Undoing, Anya Taylor-Joy's Queen Gambit. Good category. Shira Haas.
Shira Haas, yeah.
Goes without saying. And Best Actor, Bryan Cranston in Your Honor. Jeff Daniels in The Comey Rule, Hugh Grant in The Undoing, Ethan Hawke, The Good Lord Bird, and Mark Ruffalo. I know this much is true. Maybe they'll give it to Mark Ruffalo because he played twins.
And
they love it.
The thing that annoys me about this category is it feels very clearly that they're just like what famous people have been in TV shows in this year. Because most of the shows in this category are not nominated anywhere else.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, are they really like holding the show up that much that they're like the only good thing about it?
Yeah.
I watched the first episode of The Comey Rule. Jeff Daniels, clearly a very famous actor, he does absolutely shit all. Like he's playing Jim Comey. It's basically just covering the first episode. It was like Hillary's emails. I think episode 2 is where Brendan Gleeson shows up as Donald Trump. Extremely boring. It's almost documentary like.
None for Paul Mescal in Normal People. People were raving about him in that show. Come on.
But I did watch The Good Lord Bird.
Yes, you did.
I'm about 4 episodes in. I think it's like 7 in total. Great show. And never one that like just hadn't reached our shores really. So
it's about it's a historical show, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like set like just pre-Civil War. It's about like the abolitionists and the preacher John Brown, who is like a real historical figure, who's like properly starting a war, trying to start a revolution to end slavery. It kind of like teeters between fact and fiction, but it starts every episode with a like most of this is true sort of like gag like beginning screen. Like beautifully shot, really interesting, super like messy, loads of flawed, interesting different characters.
I do really like Ethan Hawke,
and he is really good in it. Like he plays a really interesting character in John Brown,
violent abolitionist.
Yeah. And there has been stuff done on John Brown before, but not for a while, and not like this. So I'm like, when I watched it, I was like, okay, I do understand. I think that is a warranted Best Actor nod, but again, are we surprised that the like main white actor got a nom and then none of the black actors got any like supporting? So I'm surprised that they're aware enough to know that Ethan Hawke's really good in it, but not aware enough to know that the whole show is like really quality,
Yeah.
and he's the only worthwhile thing nominating.
Mm-hmm.
Weird. I really liked his performance, and I'd recommend people going to watch that show.
That's good.
But-
If Ethan Hawke wins, then at least it's small.
Yeah.
But yeah, God. And then supporting actors, I'm gonna punt for Gillian Anderson for The Crown playing Thatcher. It's a shoo-in, isn't it? Playing Thatcher
Yeah.
for noms. You've got Gillian Anderson for The Crown, Helena Bonham Carter for The Crown. They really, really like The Crown. Julia Garner for Ozark, Cynthia Nixon for Ratched, and Annie Murphy for Schitt's Creek.
Yeah. It feels like they're just gonna hand it to Gillian Anderson.
Yeah.
I mean, Cynthia Nixon.
Julia
in
Garner
Ratched-
won the Emmy for Ozark last year,
Mm.
so maybe she'll pull one out the bag again.
I mean, I'd like it to be Annie Murphy, but it's not gonna be. Yeah. Another weirdly category for how much good acting, especially supporting acting, there's been.
Yeah.
It does, apart from, I'd say, like Julia Garner, maybe, and Annie Murphy. I mean, the Cynthia Nixon one for Ratched. I mean, all of Ratched's nominations don't make sense to me. So the fact that she's made it into supporting actress.
get it. I don't get it.
Yeah. And like in a similar vein, for best supporting actor, there's Jim Parsons, Dan Levy, John Boyega, Brendan Gleeson, Donald Sutherland. And the Jim Parsons nom for Hollywood, that's another Ryan Murphy show that generally got pretty panned.
I watched the first episode. It was boring.
And it just, again, feels like, oh, Jim Parsons,
We know him.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, Jane Fonda's getting the Cecil B. DeMille Award, which I am happy with.
Yes.
So there we go. Let's end on a positive one. Jane Fonda is amazing. If you don't know, look her up.
Love that for her. Truly love that for her.
Icon in every way.
Still hot.
Still so banging. She's like 80 something and she looks incredible. She hasn't bought any new clothes in God knows how long because she's trying to be more sustainable. She got arrested. Climate change. She's been arrested multiple times for protesting and Queen.
Yeah. I'm okay with her getting an award. That's great. Let's hold the whole ceremony just for Jane Fonda to get an award.
We'll pause it and then we'll listen to Jane Fonda's acceptance speech and then we'll just fast forward it and look at the winners at the end.
Yeah.
But yeah, and overall, apart from Best Limited Series, an overall bloody boring set of nominations, really.
Yeah, the actors particularly disappointing.
Yeah. Go watch it. I think the main takeaway we have from this, go watch Unorthodox on Netflix if you haven't already. It is a masterpiece. Sorry if we were a bit annoyed, but that's our take on the Golden Globes noms. Just not amazing, really. And then Year of Our Lord 2021. Here we are. Well, that's all, folks.
Signing off.